Shutter protocol, pier mile phone camera, stares at a roll-down hurricane shutter on a beach condo's slider. The slats lift a finger width under no hand and settle. On the glass behind them, clean palm blooms in salt fog and slides exactly 1 inch. From the muted weather radio on the counter, a slow, careful voice that isn't on any station says, "Don't." Raise. You rented a third-floor condo a block from the pier because your spine needed horizon. 2 bedrooms, white tile that forgives sand, hurricane shutters on every ocean-facing door. You're 25. Your cousin Jay believes sunscreen is a personality. The laminated binder on the coffee table is a polite threat. Close shutters by sunset. No balcony use after dark. Rinse feet at the boardwalk spigot and ballpoint. Someone had added, "Lower all shutters before night tide." The host shrugged on check-in. "Printer's old," she said, like absolutions came with the cleaning fee. Arrival becomes a ritual. Towels stacked, chargers labeled. The little label maker you brought to domesticate cables wakes without your thumb and spits a strip you didn't. TQ, do not raise shutters. Along the torn edge, ghost-grade digits that aren't the hour. 3:13 a.m. You laugh the swallow a nail laugh you keep for rented rules and stick the strip above the slider handle because paper makes rules heavier. Pier lights ignite downshore like someone's stringing teeth. Dot goals practice lawsuits. The AC, the elevator cables, and your ribs agree on one patient vowel. Jay leans on the breakfast bar and invents a cocktail that acts like vacation. The shutter slats over the balcony doors shiver a hair, a sleeper scratching. Right. You press your palm to aluminum and say no like bedtime. 2 knuckles touch the balcony rail beyond the shutter measured, not building pop. The glass fogs. Palm blooms behind the slats and slides 1 inch thins. Your own hand rises because mammals are ritualists. Through metal and cool, pressure matches present, not pushy as, if a hand through material agrees, both of you exist. The weather radio, unlit, finds a throat and lowers a voice into the room piece by piece, careful as a docent setting a bone. Don't. Open. Not NOAA, not the host. The museum tone cities keep for labeling bones. Jay calls it skip signal, like naming is a leash. Your phone buzzes where it shouldn't live. Unknown. Confirm raise at 3:13. It's the tiny map dot lands on the balcony, then behind your shoulder, then dash. You hold the power button until mercy. The lock screen flashes 3:13 like a dare and remembers the hour. You give hands chores so nerves don't multiply. Rinse sandals, set a drying line, pull the other shutters to half so you can see a sliver of bruised ocean through the holes. The Eve cam throws one wrong frame night air over surf full of slow-falling chaff. Like a harvest wandered off a farm into salt, then remembers pixels and wind. On aluminum, Do prints a tiny oval that looks like the heel of a palm and forgets it was glass for a heartbeat. You print a sign because signs are spells. After sunset shutters, stay down. Painter's tape breathes like a small lung as you smooth it on the slider. Your hands shake only enough to be honest. Down the block, the pier pia clears a throat you can't own. A whistle rides in from water to clean notes at exactly the pitch. Jay uses when food arrives and you re-still down the beach, landing a half beat late like a copy trying to keep step. You do not answer. The boardwalk handrail returns a smaller version, grammar corrected by aluminum. The label maker coughs a second strip, edges damp as if letters sweat, don't acknowledge knocks. You wedge it into the shutter track where your hand will be rude and see it. The slats hum once against the guides like a throat deciding against speech. Night puts a lid on the ocean. The condo and water decide to be one instrument AC. Cables, surf, your ribs aligned into a held note that sets a ruler under your sternum. In that breath, the shutter motor in the wall clicks a single relay and repents. On glass behind the slats, another palm blooms, slides its inch, retires. Jay kills the kitchen light. The room becomes a fisheye of yourself. In the reflection, your face arrives a half beat late and for one frame. A head leans near your left ear, mouth open on don't. The next frame returns your custody papers. Your phone face down takes a photo it wasn't ordered to. Shutters slats. Your hand on the strap. The corner clock insisting 3:13 where numbers should be dull. No caption. Gal. The gallery eats it like a drawer with ethics. Midnight doesn't dress up. Mullet detonate below the pier, like punctuation gone feral. Neon bleeds into tide. The weather radio lays down a blanket for the hour you haven't earned. Leave them down. From the balcony beyond the slats, tap-tap maps the rail, left to right, then back. Punctuation, learning a sentence. The shutter strap lifts a centimeter under no hand and lowers, practicing manners. You whisper stay to a piece of fabric and feel foolish in a way that keeps you alive. Jay texts from the bedroom threshold because bravery has a volume knob. You hearing that? You answer with a nod and a quiet no that isn't for them. The pier Ferris wheel lifts its crown and freezes for a breath that doesn't. Tea belonged to mechanics. At 12:23 a.m., building and water harmonize again. In that long note, the motor kisses its keeper and declines treason. The labeler pushes another strip into your palm. Leave the shutters down. Paper feels heavier than it should. The Tide app redrafts its curve into a hill centered on 313, then corrects itself like a student who knows they were guessed at. In the oven's black glass, the horizon drops a pinch of stars below the waterline that aren't reflections, then behaves. Unknown returns, incurious that you've muted it. Red flag down, open now. The map starts behind your shoulder, flashes onto the balcony for a beat of a second, and vanishes like a trainee who didn't sign the timesheet. You breathe like someone at the top of a ladder who chooses not to climb. The shutter slats shiver a hair. 2 knuckles touch the rail at your pulse's tempo. The weather radio grants one more mercy before the hour with a reputation arrives. Don't go out. You sit on the tile with your shoulder against the door because furniture works both ways. The strap tickles your wrist like a leash that deserves trust. Jay falls asleep in a chair with a towel for a blanket and mouth set like they re-arguing with the ocean in Dream Court. 313 sits down like rumor that found a chair. Every small indicator blinks once and holds the exit thread by the laundry room, the pale bead on the router you swear you unplugged. The timid dot on the motion sensor across the atrium. The tower and the surf take one long breath through wire and fan and wave and ribs and let it go. On the shuttered glass and the powder-coated rail, 2 perfect palms bloom facing each other and slide together 1 inch before thinning to memory. The radio sets down its last kindness in that careful museum wait. Keep the shutters down. Dawn practices milk. Gulls invent grievances to file at the pier. The host texts a ritual disguised as concern. Everything good? You said mostly. She appears with extra towels in the posture of someone who has negotiated with salt and renters and survived both. Quiet? She asks, which is how people who count nights ask if you left the world unaltered. Mostly, you say, and hand her the damp strips. She frowns at do not raise shutters and leave the shutters down like they re-policies she wishes she'd written before she believed in them. Printer's old. She decides the supervisor's absolution for phenomena you can't requisition. She wraps the slats with 2 knuckles and listens like a doctor to a sternum. Nothing a ledger would fund answers back. Open in daylight with someone watching, she says. Peers tell stories. At noon, with sun that knows its job and Jay acting as witness, like they re-signing for a package. You tug the strap. The slats rise on good bearings into air that belongs to people. The balcony is only a balcony. On the inside of the top box, in tiny grease pencil none of you owns, a sentence waits where no sunscreened hand would write comfortably. Leave the shutters down. The letters look pressed up from the other side, as if a hand wrote them through metal. The week spends itself honestly shells you won't keep, naps you will, a storm you respect from behind aluminum. When you go home, you trade some midnights for afternoons and tell people it's for your spine. Some weeks around 313, your apartment radiator knocks twice, like polite fingers on aluminum. And the bathroom mirror fogs a thumb width higher than you can reach while a palm clears a coin and slides a patient inch. Your phone wakes to unknown. Raise now, gets bored when you don't. When it asks in other ways, you keep your hands off slats that pretend affection. You don't answer whistles that arrive a beat late and know your pulse. You don't lean over rails that remember your name. In the steady voice the pier taught you, say shutters, stay down. For a long, thin moment, your place hums one note like wind practicing kindness. A head leans near your left ear and rehearses the first half of don't, and then the pipes remember water, the hour returns, the number it borrowed, and whatever was learning your shoreline a half beat behind you chooses. someone else's balcony and leaves yours to daylight tape that sticks and doors that mean it. Paceline river loop selfie cam shakes under streetlights as shoes slap wet pavement. In the bus shelter glass you pass, a clean palm blooms in fog and slides exactly 1 inch. Inside your earbud, a slow, careful voice that isn't from any app says, "Don't accept." You run nights because your spine needs a moving horizon. 25. Cheap flats by the river. A route you named River Loop like naming things keeps them on a leash. Your watch buzzes at the curb, and the running app wakes to a feature you didn't ask for. Pace partner available, except glows the exact green designed to forgive. You thumb decline and pretend electrons respect boundaries. At the door, you label your keys like order could anchor weather. The handheld labeler you used on flower bins wakes without your thumb and spits a strip you never cued. Do not accept pacer, along the torn edge. Ghost gray digits that aren't the hour. 3:13 a.m. You stick it on your phone case because paper makes rules heavier. First mile. Apartments become reflections of apartments. Your breath finds a gear that lets thoughts draft behind. Your left earbud lowers a voice into your skull piece by piece, careful as a docent setting bone in a case. Don't. Meet, not your coach, not a feature. The museum tone cities keep for labeling bones. You answer copy to the night because sound pins time to walls that don't exist outdoors. 2 knuckles tap the plex of a bus shelter as you pass measured, not thermal pop. The glass throws your face back half a beat late, and over your left shoulder, a second head leans toward your ear. Mouth parted on the first half of don't. You blink until glass remembers it owes you honesty. On the inside of the shelter pane, a palm blooms, slides 1 inch, thins. Your watch haptics, another offer. Community pacer nearby, merge. A tiny map sits ahead, then behind, then. You hold the crown until mercy. The screen flashes 3:13 like a dare and remembers the mile split. Mile 2. The river decides it's a rumor and holds still. Ah! The footbridge grates right their argument into your shoes. From the dark under the bridge, a whistle threads up to clean notes exactly the pitch your best friend uses at Race's Landing, a half beat late like a copy trying to keep step. You do not answer. The bridge handrail returns a smaller version like aluminum correcting grammar. Your phone, face down in your belt, takes a photo you didn't ask for, you on the move. The bus shelter receding, the corner clock insisting, 3:13 where digits should be dull, no caption. The gallery swallows it like a drawer that learned shame. The trail cam, someone installed 4 birds' coughs, 1 wrong frame, as you pass, a full of slow-falling chaff. Like harvest, wandered off a field, and into the floodlight, then remembers reeds and bugs. On the plex cover of the mile marker, condensation blooms another palm, slides its inch, retires. Your hand rises without touching. Mammals are ritualists who pretend we aren't. The app grows braver. Pacer match, 7:45 me, confirm join. The arrow doesn't choose left or right, points down, toward your stride. Your earbud offers a bedtime rule you weren't ready to need. Leave, match. Mile 3. The riverwalk kinks behind an old warehouse that smells like rust and plans. A shadow peels off the wall at your peripheral, then remembers physics. Streetlight makes confetti out of gnats and apologizes to no one. You pass the gym's glass. For 1 frame, your reflection arrives late, and a head leans by your left ear, mouth undon't. Next frame returns your face to custody. On the footpath, chalk from a weekend 5,000 still ghosts the asphalt. Arrows, hearts, a stenciled go you didn't earn. As your shoe lands on the O, your watch buzzes merge now in a font that never auditioned for law. You speak aloud to air, to a feature that thinks it has a mouth? No. At the halfway water fountain, the button offers an empty throat. On its brushed face, a palm blooms, slides its inch, thins. Your label maker, that you didn't bring sits, heavy in memory, and still manages to cough a sentence into your pocket somehow. Don't acknowledge ping. You pull out nothing and still wedge it in your head like a strip under glass. A bike rolls past and files a complaint with its chain. The rider wears no brand you can name. Their rear light blinks the kind of Morse grief learns. Your app chirps pacer joined. Your pace holds. No silhouette pulls alongside. Your left ear learns a rhythm that isn't yours and declines to share it. Mile 4. The boardwalk rails go from salt to story. From the reads, tap travels the handrail left to right, then back punctuation, learning a sentence. Your watch haptics align with the taps, exact to your pulse. You say stay to your cadence, because that's what obedience sounds like when you've earned it. From the river surface, near the lightless skull dock, water goes wrong for a beat black sheet, pricked with stars below the horizon, then remembers tide and wind. The app draws a ghost runner icon beside your dot. Half a step behind, then a step ahead, then your earbud tells the soft truth again. Don't go where they can pass. Mile 5 swings up behind the stadium, where the track breathes like a sleeping animal. The gate is chained as always, and as always, a panel of chain-link bows like a mouth that keeps secrets. On the metal, dew prints the heel of a palm and lets it slide 1 inch toward the opening that isn't one. You keep to the outside, circle the fence like a superstition in shoes. The app pings a new mercy you didn't request. Live cheering at 3:13, allow? Your thumb hovers over no, like faith deciding not to be a verb. You press. Your breath instructs your legs in a language animals share. Mile 6. The world chooses choir. River cable hum from the highway, your shoes, your lungs aligned into one long note that presses a ruler under your sternum. In that chord, your drawstring pouch shivers a hair. You don't touch it. From the bushes at the trailhead, your own 2-note whistle returns to you a beat late, as if sound learned your shape and is trying it on. Under the pedestrian overpass, someone taped a laminated flyer for a community night run. 3:13 meet. The ink looks too new for damp. You don't stop. The voice in your ear sets down its blanket for the hour with a reputation. Don't. The path pours you beneath the old brick underpass where summer stores cold. Your headlamp draws lines on wet wall like math. Somewhere above, a train rehearses leaving. At midpoint, where voices echo into the exact wrong shape, your phone buzzes with the tone you assign to your best friend. The message says, "I'm here left bank, pace me in." The map sits behind your shoulder, then under your shoes, you run on a body made out of refusal and ritual. The app tries one last bargain before the name brand minute hits. Auto accept pacer? It offers a single arrow pointing down into your stride like gravity is a choice. You close the app with a thumb that could be a prayer. Mile 7 returns you to the footbridge that began your loop. The shelter's plex is fogged again. Palm blooms, slides its inch, and this time a second palm answers from the inside of your phone screen, faint as breath. Your earbud lowers one more careful sentence into your marrow. Keep your lane. 3:13 sits down like rumor that found a chair. Every small indicator blinks once and holds the green thread on the trail crossing post. The pale bead on your headlamp you swear is off, the heart icon on the app that insists it isn't open. The city and your body take one long breath through wire and water and spine and let it go. On the bus shelter glass and the curved face of your watch, 2 perfect palms bloom facing each other and slide together 1 inch before thinning to memory. The app forgets pace partner as a concept and remembers it as a stopwatch. You finish at your building door because doors are contracts. Your watch beeps done with a humility that feels new. On the inside lip of the intercom, in tiny grease pencil none of you owns, leave pacer off. The letters look pressed up from the other side, as if a hand wrote them through metal. At home, you peel your shoes off like forgiveness and find a coin-sized tracker tucked under the tongue of the left one, humming a tiny confidence it didn't earn. You drop it into a metal bowl and set a mug over it like you're trapping a wasp with an education. Ticks against porcelain, patient as a second place. Your feed sometime after showers, and the polite anger of a banana coughs up a story from an account with no posts and your name in it. Shaky video of your shoes on the trail, your shoulders, your breath elastic at the edges. The caption reads, "Perfect split. See you at 3:13. You report it to a place that sleeps at these hours. A month later, you trade some night runs for afternoons and call it periodization. Some weeks around 3:13, your radiator knocks twice like polite knuckles on Plex, and the bathroom mirror fogs a thumb with higher than you can reach, while a palm clears a coin and slides a patient inch. Your phone wakes to unknown. Join Pacer. It gets bored when you don't. When it asks in other ways, you keep your hands off buttons that pretend defection. You don't answer whistles that arrive a beat late and know your cadence. You don't meet at places that remember your name. The steady voice the loop taught you. You say pacer stays off. For a long, thin moment, your room hums one note, like a trail deciding to be kind. A head leans near your left ear and practices the first half of don't, and then the pipes remember water. The hour returns the number it borrowed. Whatever was learning your route a half beat behind you, chooses someone else's split and leaves yours to daylight. Tape that sticks and a finish line that means it. Shadow route. Last ping front camera selfie in the back seat of a rideshare at night. Streetlight smear. In the window beside your head, a clean palm blooms in condensation and slides exactly 1 inch. From a muted earbud, a slow, careful voice that isn't in any app says, "Don't share." You take a late ride across town because the bus makes grief out of schedules. 25, broken busy, head against cool glass to calibrate your pulse. The driver has 5 stars and a smile that looks borrowed. For safety, he says at pickup, hit share trip with a friend. Keeps everyone honest. You jab the gray arrow, and it declines to grow a color. Your finger hovers like faith, deciding not to be a verb. The little label maker you use to tame cables wakes in your bag without your thumb and feeds a strip you didn't. TQ, do not share location. Along the ragged edge. Ghost gray digits that aren't the hour. 3:13 a.m. You stick it on your phone case because paper makes rules heavier. 2 knuckles touch the inside of the back seat window measured, not thermal pop. In the glass, your face arrives half a beat late, and behind your shoulder, a second head leans toward your left ear. Mouth parted on the first half of don't. You blink until glass remembers it owes you honesty. Your phone vibrates on quiet where it shouldn't live. Unknown. Confirm live share at 3:13. The tiny map sits inside the moving car, then behind your right shoulder. Then you hold the power button until mercy. The lock screen flashes 3:13 like a dare and returns the hour. Mind if I take the back way? The driver asks the air. The app on his dash winks reroute in a font that never auditioned for law. Say whatever because survival sometimes sounds like a shrug. The car lets you out 2 blocks from your building and a floor lower in your courage. Street quiet as a coin. Your earbuds give you that careful museum tone the city reserves for labeling bones. Don't go. Straight. You turn a corner, you can see around. In the lobby, the elevator inhales like a cathedral that knows it isn't. You aim the camera at the mirrored wall because ghosts love accountability. For one frame, the air in the cab turns to slow-falling chaff, like a harvest wandered indoors. The next frame remembers steel and fingerprints. On the mirror glass, a palm blooms, slides 1 inch thins. Your hand rises because mammals keep rituals. Through glass and cold, pressure matches present, not pushy as if a hand through material agrees you both exist. Your apartment door eats your key the way good locks do. Inside, the building composes itself, fridge motor, vent fan, someone's TV through a wall with opinions. In that hum, your phone chooses treason. Security tip. Turn on live tracking so a trusted contact can locate you. The button glows that forgiving green. You hit nitrogen monoxide like bedtime. From the hallway to knuckles touch your door tap. Tap patient. Polite. The peephole lens fogs from the wrong side. A palm blooms, slides its inch, retires. In the fisheye, the corridor is empty, except for your reflection arriving late, and a second head lean toward your left ear. Mouth open on don't. You do not touch the chain. You speak to wood-like prayer translated for hardware. Stay closed. Your phone pings a kind of honesty you didn't request. Unknown accessory moving with you. It offers find with the sort of optimism that thinks night owes it rent. You walk the flashlight over bag, coat, shoes. The light skims your tote strap and the beam leaps like it found a classroom. You remove a coin-sized disc that never auditioned for your belongings. It hums the way a thought does before it introduces itself. The label maker coughs another strip, edges damp as if letters sweat. Don't acknowledge knocks. You wedge it into the jam where your hand will be rude and see it. Your earbuds offer a bedtime rule in that careful museum wait. Leave, share, off. Midnight decides it will not dress differently for your sake. The rideshare app on your lock screen blooms a banner you didn't earn. Driver T ended your trip at 3:13. You didn't? The map shows a route that ends exactly under your window, a blue ribbon taught to lie politely. The radiator knocks once like a bone trying to be polite. In the oven's black glass, Your kitchen returns your face late. For one frame, a head leans near your left ear, mouth shaping, don't. The next frame remembers physics. On the window, another palm blooms a thumb width higher than you can fog and slides its inch. You do not match it this time. Consent is renewable, and yours is spoken for. From the fire escape, a whistle threads into notes at precisely the pitch your best friend uses when she can. T finds you at a party landing, a half beat late, like a copy trying to keep step. You do not answer. The metal outside returns a smaller version, grammar corrected by rust. At 12:23 a.m., the building in your ribs agree to be one instrument. In that held note, the deadbolt kisses its keeper and declines treason. Your phone face down takes a photo it was in T hired for. You at the door with a hand on brass. The label strips like talismans, the corner clock insisting 3:13 where numbers should be dull. No caption. The gallery eats it like a drawer with ethics. Your DMIs decide to be a mouth. New request from driver T. Left your umbrella in my car. Downstairs. There's a button that never belonged to this app. Quick share. The arrow points down, toward the latch. The earbuds give you one more mercy. Don't. Go. Down. You drop the tracker coin into a metal mixing bowl and set a mug over it like you're retrapping a wasp with a theology degree. It ticks against ceramic, a polite heartbeat that forgot whose ribs. From the street, the door buzzer bleats like an apology. The directory lists your sister's name because leases keep history. The buzzer says 3:13 because clocks like drama. You let the sound grow lonely. Minutes arrive with posture and leave without receipts. Twice, 2 knuckles map the door, exact to your pulse. Twice, the phone offers this. Unknown would like to see your location. Twice, you choose no like you mean it. The rideshare profile posts a story. Street-level video of your building. The camera panning up as if lungs could tilt. The caption reads, "Look up and wave," with the kind of punctuation that thinks laws are suggestions. In the frame's upper right, your window is a dark coin. For one wrong beat, stars appear below the skyline where only streetlights should breathe. The next remembers sodium and math. You type a report with the steadiness of someone teaching fear to spell. You include the make, the plate, the wrong emojis. You include 3:13 because knights love documentation. 3:13 sits down like rumor that found a chair. Every small indicator blinks once and holds the green thread on the stove clock you swear you unplugged. The bead on the router, the timid dot on the camera that insists it isn't on, the apartment in the hall. Take one long breath through plaster and wire and ribs and let it go. On the glass and on the brushed face of the deadbolt, 2 perfect palms bloom facing each other and slide together 1 inch before thinning to memory. The earbuds set down their last kindness with museum weight. Keep the share closed. Dawn practices milk. The neighbor with a leash claims the hallway with a name you can verify. We walk the tracker bowl to daylight and witnesses. The front desk man, whose job is chairs and certainty, lifts the mug and whistles low. Shouldn't be there, he says. Petey will want it live. He wraps it in foil like a sandwich built for court. At noon, under honest fluorescence, and with an officer who believes in forms, the precinct bag opens. The tracker sits like small evidence that learned manners. On the inside of its thin aluminum ring, in tiny grease pencil none of you owns, a sentence waits where no gloved hand would write comfortably. Leave location off. The letters look pressed up from the other side, as if a hand wrote them through metal. The report learns your name the way institutions do, carefully, expensively, not enough. The officer says there are procedures. He means there are names for boxes. You trade a few midnights for afternoons and call it spine care. Some weeks around 3:13, your radiator knocks twice like polite fingers on glass, and the bathroom mirror fogs a thumb width higher than you can reach while a palm clears a coin and slides a patient inch. Your phone wakes to unknown. Here to return your umbrella share. Gantt gets bored when you don't. When it asks in other ways, you keep your hands off buttons that pretend affection. You don't answer whistles that arrive a beat late and know your pulse. You don't step down to cars that remember your name. In the steady voice this night taught you, you say, sharing stays off. For a long, thin moment, your place hums one note like a building deciding to be kind. A head leans near your left ear and rehearses the first half of Don't. And then the pipes remember water, The hour returns the number it borrowed. Whatever was learning your route a half beat behind you chooses someone else's map and leaves yours to daylight. It's tape that sticks, and boundaries that mean it.